Becoming a success as a business isn't easy. Everybody knows that. Becoming a Pasadena pioneer, where you're recognized as being top, top in your industry, a company that everybody likes. Well, today we're going to talk to a representative of Bryan's Cleaners, and we're talking about John Leano. Hi, John. And we're going to give you some inside information as to what it took for Bryan's to become one of the leaders in the community, in the industry that it is. Stay tuned. Hey, John, how are you?
I'm fine, Don.
So let me do this delicately. It's John Leano.
Leano.
Leano,
Yes,
not
sir.
Linneo.
Not Linneo.
Okay. So John and I serve on the board together for the Pasadena Chamber, and recently at a board meeting, I butchered his name, and I paid for it very much so by people on the board, and I'm going to try never to do that again. It's Leano, and if I ever mess up again, please tell me. John has worked for Bryan's Cleaners and Laundry since 1988, and he focuses on business development and marketing. And one of the really intriguing things that I think most people have when they study businesses and they want to be a success is they want to know, how do you get there? How do you last that long? And I'm sure that you're going to give us lots of information about that. John writes in an industry-related column for an international publication. Since he is a proponent of multiple income streams, John also has his professional licenses, credentials, and affiliations with various companies, industries, and associations unrelated to the professional garment care. During the Great Lockdown, John launched his company, Advisiano Marketing Labs. John has served on the board of directors for the Pasadena Chamber since 2015. He lives with his family in Pasadena and California. And, I note that you were not only born and raised in Pasadena, but you attended the local schools here as well, right? Which schools did you go to?
Don Benito, Washington Elementary, Wilson Junior High.
Which is it still around, or did they close it?
I think it's closed.
Okay.
But I'm not entirely sure. And Marshall Fundamental.
Okay. And you have a Bachelor of Arts in Biblical Studies and a BA in Church Music, emphasizing composition and conducting. So now I'm starting to figure out who you are, because this is one of the funniest men that I've ever met. I mean, when he gives presentations or any meeting that I see him in, he always captures an audience with his really good humor. You're a great, gifted speaker, and I have a feeling that is related to you being in the church music industry, so to speak. You're used to getting in front of people, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I've been in performance for a while in schools, playing in bands and orchestras and singing in choirs and things like that.
Okay. You're very relaxed, very natural. I remember when you gave your induction speech at the chamber a couple of years ago, I'm like, okay, I'm in line for that, and I got to somehow match John. And as hard as I tried, I couldn't. I think my predecessor was trying to do the same thing, but John is really, really fantastic. So anyways, I thought that we could talk about business, since that's your niche, and you're in the cleaning and laundry industry since 1988. What are some of your thoughts with respect to people that want to last long? What does it take?
Well, it takes a loyal customer base. Bryan's Cleaners, who I work for, has been around since 1938. So that's 85 years in Pasadena. And when Garnett Bryan started the company in 1938, he was told not to do it because there were so many other dry cleaners and laundry companies around. But thank God he was stubborn, and he went ahead and did it. And because of that, I'm employed today. But customer loyalty, generational loyalty, word of mouth, doing the right thing for the customer 100% of the time, I think, is what will help get you there, make you go far.
Your company must be an excellent company, since they've got people like you that have been around forever. I mean, usually you don't have that type of retention. So there must be something about the culture of the company that stands out.
Or they just can't get rid of me. maybe they've tried and have been unsuccessful. But no, it's a great company to work for, and it's top down with great leadership. So when you have great leadership, it's been in the same family for 3+ generations. So the same family has run it since 1938. So all those principles that Garnett Bryan passed on to William Bell, who passed on to Scott Bell, who's my boss, just keep going and going, and it helps us want to carry the legacy forward and hopefully reach that 100-year mark in about 15 years or so.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you'll make it. I mean, there's only really a few companies that have made the 100 mark in Pasadena. We celebrate them for sure. You know, I'm thinking of like Anderson Technologies is around, and I don't know if they've made it 100 years. I think they have, but certainly your company is notable. I know there's a lot of branches throughout the town. Where are they?
We have 3 locations. Our main plant is on Arroyo Parkway in Pasadena, and then we have one in Altadena, and then another one in East Pasadena. So there's 3 of our locations. And then with our free pickup and delivery, we're all over Pasadena and surrounding communities. So I like to say at chamber meetings, our closest location is your front door.
So what intrigues me is the technology about the cleaning business. I mean, you're able to produce, you know, quality work day after day, which you have to do to have that loyal customer base that you were talking about. What kind of technology does it take in order to produce that? I mean, it's not your local regular laundromat. I mean, you guys are doing something different, I think.
You're right, Don. Well, obviously there's state-of-the-art machinery that's, you know, industry related, that cleans the clothes properly and dries the clothes, and you need to have the right finishing equipment. But I think really what sets us apart are the people. You need to have people to run those machines. You need craftsmen and craftswomen that are able to get stains out and take pride in finishing the garment and making sure it's ready for the customer when they pick it up. So we want to treat each garment as if it were our own. So while the machinery and the technology is great, and it's good to have that high tech, you need to have that high touch where you have that human element involved so that we take care of people's clothes. Because clothes are very personal. People are passionate about their garments, whether it's for a job interview or something for a wedding, something personal like a baptism. Clothes are very personal. People are passionate and they care about it, and so we care about it as well.
I love that concept, and not just a concept, your practice of treating everybody on the line, everybody that's at work for your company is a craftsman. So it kind of reminds me of, you know, the Saturn, and it's so long ago since it exists. I don't know if you remember the Saturn automobile.
I owned one.
Did you own one? Yeah. Yeah, well, that was one where, you know, they slowed down the production line, and they had people that took a lot of pride in everything that they did, and those cars came out spectacular. So you have that culture going on and that encouragement of people. Interesting. So has technology changed at all since you started?
Oh, sure it has. Yes, the machinery has changed. Obviously, processes have changed. And with the push toward more environmentally friendly or eco-friendly systems, wet cleaning is now something.
What is that?
Instead of using dry cleaning solvent, it's using water to clean the clothes. So it's more environmentally safe and does a great job if it's done in the right machine with the right cleaning agents. And more dry cleaners are doing that, especially in California where regulations are pretty, you know, they're coming down on us to be more eco-friendly. But we were ahead of the game. We were doing that before it became the law, so to speak.
I was going to get into this area and you beat me to it, and that is, you know, what your company does and what should be done with respect to taking part in, you know, in the environment, cleaning the environment, keeping it clean. One of the things that comes to mind for me is the hangers. They come to me, you know, and what do you do with those hangers? You know, I like to return them back. You know, does your company take the hangers back from their customers if they put them in a bag?
Absolutely. We take those back from the customers. We encourage them to save them for us. We have this hanger caddy that's shaped like a hanger, and they just drop them in there, and then they return them to us, and we can reuse them if they're, you know, reusable, or we can recycle them. So we're very much into recycling the poly bags. Like the poly bags we use, they can be recycled or they can be thrown in the trash because they're biodegradable.
Okay. And once upon a time, I talked to you about, you know, your customer base, and it's just not individuals like myself. I mean, you also, your company has clients that are companies, big companies like hotels and, you know, banquet halls and things of that nature. So has that been part of the business, you know, since you were around, or is that something that's new?
No, it's not new. It's something that's been part of the business as far as I know. When I started with the company back in 1988, we serve individuals. We go to homes for pickup and delivery, which is free and there's no minimum. But we also service companies and businesses as well.
Okay, those are like big contracts for your company, I imagine, right? I mean, the bigger ones.
Some of them are big, and some of them are just office buildings.
Hospitals too? Did you tell me?
We've taken care of hospitals
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Interesting. in my business as a family law attorney, on occasion I'll represent somebody that owns a one shop laundry cleaner thing. They usually, when the divorce comes, the company doesn't last. It breaks up and everything. So when I learned about you guys being around forever, it was very notable to me. Did you have any contact with some of the people that preceded Scott, like his dad or anybody in the business?
Well, his dad, William Bell, trained me.
Okay.
So he trained me behind the counter and trained me behind, not really in production. Like I don't iron and I don't clean the clothes, but he taught me how to inspect garments, make sure the spots came out, make sure the wrinkles were gone, and how to bag or package the clothing so that it was ready for the customer to pick up. So he taught me that. So I interacted with him quite a bit.
Cool. And what is your title now within the company?
Don, I am titleless.
Okay.
I don't have a title. Like,
do you want one?
Not really. Even my business card doesn't have a title. It just has Bryan's Cleaners and my name and how to get a hold of me. So I wear many hats probably within the company.
One of the things I know you do, though, is you're in the sales, though, right? I mean, you do go around and you try to get new that's why you're so involved in the chamber.
I'm an evangelist for Bryan's Cleaners and Laundry. I am its chief proselytizer, so to speak.
You are probably the most active chamber member that I've ever seen, too. You go before you became the president or the chair of the chamber. You had a long history of attending the breakfasts, the lunches, the special events, and everything. When did you start doing that?
I started representing Bryan's Cleaners and Laundry at the chamber around 1993.
Not too long after, about 5 years after you started there.
Yeah, and Bryan's has been a chamber member since 1939. So 1 year after Bryan's opened, they joined the Pasadena Chamber. They've been a member ever since. But I started representing Bryan's around 1993.
Interesting. I'm going to take a guess that you wouldn't be doing that unless there was some success in your networking. And this is not a commercial for the Chamber of Commerce, although I'd love it to be. But I mean, I found it interesting that when Maria and my wife and I went to an event, there was John sitting there, man, just talking to people and stuff like that. You're always around and stuff. So I assume that you've built some pretty good relationships through the years.
I have. I built good relationships, made good friends. So it's not only been rewarding professionally and business-wise, but also personally as well.
It's funny because I saw a picture of you on Facebook with a couple of the chamber members after an event. I forgot who they were. I'm not going to embarrass them by naming them right now.
Let's throw them under the bus right now, Don. Where's the bus? Let's throw them under the bus.
But I did notice that you've got long-standing relationships with a lot of those people. I just started going to the breakfasts and lunches as the current chair.
And we appreciate that.
Oh, well, thank you.
We really do. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. And what I noticed is that it not only has its own culture, but it has these long-standing people that come and stuff. And it's pretty cool to, once you have been going there, you feel more comfortable than if you're just going to an event you don't know anybody, right? And it's really good. So is your company working for clients only in Pasadena, or does it go beyond Pasadena?
All of Pasadena and its surrounding communities, such as Altadena, Arcadia, La Cañada, South Pasadena, San Marino, Sierra Madre. So the other cities that kind of touch Pasadena.
Still, that's a big geographic area, though.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. And how many employees roughly does Byron's have? Bryan's. There I go with names again. Bryan's. It's right in front of me, and I can't even read it. Bryan's. How many people work there?
Currently about 26, 27.
Okay, you guys get a lot done with that size of a workforce, and that's pretty impressive.
Yes.
Wow. And do you see any changes in the future with regard to the industry?
Yes, and we've seen changes happen in the past too, like with the advent of polyester, right? People thought, people aren't going to get their clothes dry cleaned anymore because people aren't going to wear cotton and wool, they're going to be wearing polyester, but people still needed to get their clothes cleaned and get them pressed. And then we saw the advent of casual Fridays, right, for business. Now it's casual Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Hardly anyone dresses as dapper as you, Don, with a nice shirt, a tie, and a suit.
I just came back from an event, man. Give me some slack. You know what?
When I see you, I see money. I'm like, that's our customer right there. Let me get that guy. So when I see a guy walking down the street in a suit, I'm ready to attack him and give him my business card and make him a client.
And buy him a drink and spill it on him.
Definitely spill it on him. Definitely spill it on him.
So has that really changed things, the way that people dress for work? Because yeah, it has. Okay.
It has. It has changed things. Um, the economic struggles of 2008 changed things, and then of course the COVID pandemic lockdown changed things.
Well, let's talk about that now. I don't know if we could not include this in this if you want, but you had COVID during COVID.
We
The
can edit
period.
this out, right?
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Severe COVID pneumonia is
Yeah.
what it's called. Yeah.
yeah, and so man, you made it through. Thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
Was your company impacted at all by during that period of time?
Because I had COVID pneumonia?
Well, of course it was impacted.
They got a vacation from me. That's how they were impacted. Like, oh, John's not here. Okay, we can actually get things done now.
They didn't have their star player there. Come on. So I mean,
I'm number 8. I'm number 8 on the depth chart, just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a pine brother. I sit down the bench. If they call me in, it's desperate times for desperate measures, or desperate measures for desperate times.
Well, I remember that you were actually hospitalized, and it was pretty darn serious.
Yeah.
And so besides the fact that you weren't working over there, the cleaning industry had to have been impacted during that period of time.
Very much so. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, because I don't know if you felt this way, but when they started doing the lockdowns, I looked out the window and I'm like, all those restaurants that are going under, and stuff like that. It's just amazing that certain companies have been able to pull through. Thank goodness your company did. How bad did it get?
Well, it got pretty bad. There was honestly probably a time there where we thought, are we going to make it through?
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately we did, but it was difficult. 40% of dry cleaners across the country closed during
Wow.
that time. So for us to make it through, we considered ourselves very blessed and fortunate to come through that.
Well, that's obviously part of the thing that we were talking about with an established company with a good brand name, with a really good reputation. You were able to weather that huge storm where a lot of companies couldn't. Yeah. I just think that, there's got to be a sense of pride among all the people that work, for your company, that you guys did get through that and you've been around as long as you have. I mean, that is really, really cool.
One of the things that helped us get through, if I don't mind saying, is that we had the free pickup and delivery in place already. So we had that infrastructure of routes, systematized routes that went to customers' homes and businesses, the ones that were open, but definitely to their homes. So we didn't have to scramble to put that together like some dry cleaners did. Some dry cleaners were scrambling to do pickup and delivery. They didn't have vans. They didn't know how to do it. And they were on the fly trying to implement that during COVID. But we already had that in place, as well as our wash and fold subscription program. We already had that in place. So we were able to, I wouldn't say it was easy, but we were able to take those systems and apply them to the current situation and then help us move forward.
Cool. How long did you have that free service?
We've had the route service since the very beginning.
Wow.
But the pickup and delivery, we started offering it for free. I'm thinking late 80s, early 90s, probably early 90s, where it was free. No minimums whatsoever. If you just had one shirt or one tie, we'd come pick it up.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm thinking nowadays when you have the DoorDash. My wife and I have our groceries delivered to our home. We have a dining, rather than going out. A lot of times we have food coming in, but the laundry thing has been around way ahead of those companies. And if you were established, that certainly give you a leg up. I'm very impressed by the fact that you can be consistent, right? How do you establish, that type of consistency where, people can really rely on you to do that?
It's a good question. I think it's doing the right thing for the garment all of the time. You have this delicate line to navigate between what's best for the garment and what's good for the environment nowadays. And so you try to do what's best for both, but sometimes you just really have to focus on what's best for the customer, what's the best for their garment, and do the right thing, regardless of what the climate says is in style now or how things should be. So when we take that special care with people's clothes and treat them with respect, I think that'll get them coming back and telling others about it.
Do you guys have like a website service, or is it just the old-fashioned thing where they go and they call you and you set up? How does somebody engage you guys?
We have a website,
Okay.
so people could sign up through the website. We make it really easy for them to sign up for service, and We love taking our customers' money, so we make it very easy for them to pay us as well with automatic payments. So all of that can be done through the website, or if they're old school and they want to pick up the phone or walk in, we can take care of it that way as well.
Okay.
So we're versatile.
Here's a little secret I'm going to say is that my wife and I sometimes get so busy we don't even have time to wash our own clothes. I didn't know that your service also includes doing basic laundry for people, and you get it done for relatively inexpensive, and it takes a lot of the stress away from the household when you've got two working people, and especially if there's kids and everything like that. It's a service that if you want to have food delivered to your house, you should probably think about every once in a while having your laundry cleaned and delivered like that as well. Has that always been a service, that regular laundry like that? Because I didn't know it until I met you and you talked about you having that service.
Yes, it's always been a service. It's something that we've been doing for a very long time.
Cool. Okay, well, you came in here saying that you were going to interview me. So
I don't know if we have time.
Yeah, how much
now.
time do we have, David?
We got 10 minutes.
Okay,
Oh,
all right.
my.
You got 10 minutes
We
to.
might need to do another segment.
Yeah. No, we're gonna. Thank God we only have 10 minutes, so it's all on you, dude.
Oh boy. Okay, because I had like 3 pages of questions I wanted
Okay.
to ask you because we came on the board together.
That's true.
And we appreciate that you, as our chair of the board, are very involved in our networking events like our breakfasts and our mixers. And it's great to see the leader of our organization engaged with the membership of our Pasadena Chamber of Commerce. So we appreciate that.
You know what? I became addicted to the events. When I went to the first thing that I went to with my wife was the breakfast at the end of the year. When they bring in the rose court, the queen and all the princesses, and then the president of the tournament of roses gets up and gives a speech, and it's like this room that it's very intimate. And you feel so privileged to be part of that, in this great city before the world comes upon Pasadena. I don't know, John, if you really appreciate Pasadena the way that I do, but
I do.
Do you?
I was born and raised here, so
Yeah.
I love this city. Yeah.
I mean, I really think that it's one of the greatest cities in the United States, and if you haven't lived anywhere else, I'm not sure you see all the great things about it, but apparently there's smart people like you that do and everything.
Wait, say that again? Smart people like me? Okay. What did you have to drink
Stable.
at lunch, Don?
Stable people. It's funny, but I mean, honestly though, when you go into that event in the morning and you see, all the dedicated volunteers in the community, they just come together and it's like, hey, let's huddle, let's talk about some secrets here before the world comes upon you. And the chamber that's hosted by the chamber, and so I really became a big fan right from the very beginning. And I love the things that the chamber does, like the economic summit. We talked about that in the last podcast that I had with John Burt and everything, but it really serves a good purpose if you're involved, and like you're super involved, and I think that you don't do anything else, right? Any other networking that I'm aware of?
Well, we're a member of the Altadena Chamber of Commerce. It's a smaller chamber, and then I'm also a member of the Filipino American Chamber of Commerce, Greater Los Angeles. But really, my main bag is the Pasadena Chamber of Commerce. That's where my real connections and relationships.
And you've made
exist.
a big thing of it because you made use of it and stuff, and it's great. So, anyways, go ahead and ask your question. We've got now 5 minutes to ask me the question. So
we don't have enough time.
That was a filibuster.
I had some great questions about family law I wanted to ask you, and then some not so serious questions just about your personal life, but we can't get it all in.
I tell you what, we'll do it the next one. Okay,
Let's do that.
We'll have you come in.
Is that a deal?
Yeah,
Is there going to be a
that's
next
fine.
one?
That's
Okay.
fine.
Should we shake on it or shake on it?
Here you go. So I'm going to tell you that I've been interviewed before, and I honestly don't like being interviewed. I like being the person to interview. So as you can tell,
well, if you'd like, I'll email you the questions if you want. This won't be in the thing, right?
No, that's good. Well, this could be on it. Go ahead.
I-
You're
I-
going
I-
to email me the
I can
questions.
email you the questions, and I'm not going to use them all, but
Okay.
I'm going to randomly pick a few of them to
Okay,
ask
so
you.
there will be the element of surprise.
There will be that. Yeah, like you'll know what's coming. You just don't know when it's coming.
Oh, it's going to be one of these scary ones then. Okay. Well, cool. Well, anyways, thank you so much for coming today. I think that, people should feel inspired by listening to this podcast and understanding that, a good company like Bryan's really takes a lot of commitment to employees, a lot of commitment to the community. You talked about the integrity of the company and how doing the right thing really counts. And I think that just has to resonate with people that are trying to become Pasadena pioneers, people that are going to make a success out of their business. Take a page out of Bryan's. I really think that you guys are inspirational, and I thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Don. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.